My friends, and you are my friends, and welcome. Good morning. How are we all? News broke late last night. Before we get into that, I do apologize for being 7 minutes late. I do sincerely apologize. We have this thing around here called a 2-year-old, and I was busy working away on a video which was coming out at 10:45 on Trimley Red Devils account. So if you're not a subscriber there, head over there and subscribe. And he pressed the button, and the computer turned off. And if you've been here a while on the platform, you will know this computer takes, well, probably about 400 years to get going and then recognize a webcam. But thankfully, we are here and we have got a new member, James Warren Elmer, and $8.99 from Lewis Robinson, kicking off what I'm going to call the Supercomputer Fund. If you want to join that Supercomputer Fund and become a YouTube member today, click the link. I'm going to get on a new computer if I can get a number of new followers and subscribers, because I'm sick to death. But we start with even sadder news this morning. Well, if you're a Portsmouth fan, if you're a Town fan, it's great news. Marcus Harness coming to Portman Road. Joe Pigott going out on loan in the opposite direction. I've got Rich with me. Rich, we're going to be joined by Gab Sutton, EFL expert, shortly.
Matt Phillips coming?
Nah, he's got COVID. He's ill, bless him.
He's got COVID, Fuck. Everybody. Mine's just lit.
Fuck.
Come on, Matt. Get off your sick bed. You're on day 6. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
They've done this top for him this morning, look.
How are you wearing that in like 42 degrees? Well, it's not 42 yet.
Well, it's a little bit cooler in here. I'll take it off in a minute because I'll be melted. I just thought I'd show everyone what it looks like. How are you anyway?
Look, I was busy working at the computer last night on some highlights for Trimley, and then I got a text from Lewis. Look at your phone. I looked at my phone, looked at Twitter, and who puts out a transfer at 11 p.m.
I was at Newmarket because Susie went to watch the script with very little signal over there, and then Carl Brooks messaged me about they dropped a little fish on the Twitter feed, didn't they? On the Ipswich Town Twitter feed. So I quickly went on there, and then it came through, and then as I was driving home, my phone was literally going mental. So,
I know. I messaged the WhatsApp group saying, "Who's up? Who's up?" But yeah, great signing. I'm going to ask you what you think of it first. Going to open it up to the chat. Obviously, they have their say as well, but we'll get to Gab in a second, so because I know it's his Saturday and he'll want to get on. But what are your thoughts on it, Marcus Harness? He's predominantly a right winger.
Yeah.
What are you thinking first?
I've just watched a little bit of his interview. He can play in the 10. He can play wing back, plays mainly on the right. Look, I've got his numbers here, Martin. 134 games for Pompey in all competitions, 31 goals. Last season, 40 games. SOFA score rating, 6.88. Average rating, 11 goals, 6 assists, 7 big chances created, 1.3 key passes, 1.5 shots per game. He's played a total of 261 career games, 39 goals. He was at Burton to start with. He's had a loan at Port Vale. He's 26, Martin. He knows the league. And we've weakened the rival as well, haven't we? Portsmouth fans absolutely losing their nuts last night.
Yeah.
They dropped it as well on their Twitter. Is anybody up? I mean, what a letdown that is. Joe Pigott coming in the door and their best player going out to town.
I don't know. I like Joe Pigott.
So did I. We'll talk about him as well. But
I don't know about
it's
that.
It's a good deal for town. It's a good deal, I think.
Andrew says, money we have just paid to Pompey will now finance bid for Hurst. Alex, who's from a YouTube member? Alex Wilson. Good stuff, Alex. Thank you very much. Big up Trimley Massive. Absolutely, Ross. Huge we are, Ian. Adam, joined buttons not working from... Oh, okay. Well, I will fix that for you. Bring in Gabriel Sutton. Gab, welcome. Good morning. How are you?
Morning, folks. Good to see you.
Morning.
Good man. Thank you for joining us. Lastminute.com. But this whole transfer sort of been lastminute.com, it seems. 11 p.m. last night. How does this... What does this do for us, first of all? What does this do for Ipswich in your neutral opinion?
That's a really good question. I still feel Ipswich need a top creator, someone that can replace Bersant Selina. I think Marcus Harness has had a good season for Portsmouth. I think he's been quite inconsistent for them in the sense of being very impressive one game and maybe not so impressive the next. So I know that that Crunchers sort of mentioned that Portsmouth fans are losing their minds over it. I'm not sure that's the perspective that I've got. I think some would have liked to have kept Harness, but I don't think that this is a crushing blow for them, especially considering that they've received money to strengthen up top, which was a key thing for them. So, but I think in terms of going back to Harness, obviously scored 12 goals last season. I don't see him replacing Bersant Selina myself, so I still would want to bring somebody else in just because of how important that position is. It's going to be to Town going forward, but a decent signing.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing him arrive. So we still need that prime creator for you because Marcus Harness is good, but he's not that prime creator.
Well, I think from where I'm sitting, Martin, you look at Ipswich, it's going to be 3-4-3 this year, where you've got Sam Morpsey and Don Ball in the sort of midfield, and they're good all-round midfielders, but they're not like fantastic creators as such. That's probably not the job that they're being given because you want to allow the wing backs to get forward. But then if one of your forwards is going to be Connor Chaplin maybe playing off the left, he's going to try and look to get in among the goals. You're going to have a striker down the middle. So for me, that forward on the right has to be really creative. I think Harness is good, but I don't know if he can produce that level. So I'd still look to bring in somebody else. That's not to say it's a bad signing or isn't a good signing, but I'd still want to bring somebody else in.
Do you think, obviously, as we started the show, Gab, predominantly a right winger. Wes Burns had just a tremendous year last year. How do you see this sort of fitting with Town and McKenna? Can he play left, or how do you see it?
Well, I used to watch him a little bit for Burton Albion when, back in those days, sort of mid-2010s, he tended to play somewhere on the left. So he was quite a versatile left-sided player. And then whether it was in his loan spell, maybe at Port Vale a couple of seasons after that, he sort of moved to the right and then sort of became this inverted player that ended up cutting onto his left foot or sometimes cutting in onto his right. I think he's quite is it ambidextrous? That's the word. So I think he can go on either foot as well, which is pretty good. But yeah, as I've said before, really, I'm not quite sure that he's the one player that Ipswich need to bring in terms of creativity. I'd still want other options, just because I'd want other options.
You're notorious for writing your fantastic preseason guide, your preseason review guides of where you believe the chips will fall come May next year. I'm not going to ask you to reveal any spoilers from those fantastic articles, but when you come to write it, do you think this is going to move that needle for Ipswich? Do you think you're going to think twice, or are they going to be pegged where you're probably going to have them anyway?
I'll say this hasn't changed. Whatever my stance is on Ipswich Town in terms of where they're going to finish, this hasn't necessarily changed. Now, so that could be that I've got Ipswich as champions and it hasn't changed it from that point of view, or it could be that I've got Ipswich finishing outside the playoffs and it hasn't changed. But I think that I'm not saying it. Yeah, listen, I think it's a decent signing, but it's not one that's made me rethink where I've got Town in terms of my predictions.
Before I let you go or ask Chris, you've got anything for you? Portsmouth, what does it do for them? Obviously, they're a rival of ours. Called us Checkbook FC. There's more salt than McDonald's over in the South Coast this morning. But how does it do for Portsmouth? What about their fans?
See, I think Joe Pigott could come good for Pompey because of those goals he scored for Wimbledon. And I think that he probably likes a bit more of a direct style of football, maybe. He's got a good spring on him, I've always thought. Very hard-working striker. Probably a little bit unlucky that when he came in for your lot in that summer of 2021, it was just loads of strikers coming in, and Paul Cook likes 4-2-3-1. So I have a little bit of sympathy from that perspective. Obviously, it didn't really work out for him, but I don't see any reason why he can't sort of rebuild his career at Pompey. And the fact they're getting a fee for that swap when they've addressed in the process a really key area, I don't think that's a bad deal for them. So I think Pigott could come good for them.
Rich?
Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of Pigott. Gab, when he signed, I did predict he'd score 24 goals last season. Look, it didn't work out for one reason or another. He came in, he knew how Cookie would play, and he probably had belief in himself that he'd be that striker. But I don't think any of us sort of anticipate the start that Macaulay Bond would have. Up to October, absolutely on fire, and then he sort of tailed off. But I've got down here with all the attacking players. I know you're saying we need someone else. You've got Chaplin, Ladapo, Harness, Caden Jackson, John Jules, Sonny Aluko, Kyle Edwards. We've got a lot of attacking flair there. And you still think we need... He's still rumoured this morning. I see Andy Warren from the East Anglian. Selena could still happen, Gab. So you still think we need one more? What about another striker? Do you think we need another striker or another 10?
No, not another striker necessarily. I think that I'm thinking more in terms of someone who can really create and replace Selena, because you've mentioned a lot of attacking players. I'm not going to dispute that point with you. Certainly a lot of strikers. I would say Ipswich are quite good in terms of the striker position, maybe short of someone who can play back to goal potentially. I don't know what either of you lot think about that.
George Hurst.
George I think will be a good signing. I really rate him. He's tall, but he's really good with his feet as well. And he had a good second half of last season at Pompey. So, I think George Hurst will be a good signing. But again, I think you've mentioned lots of attacking players, but someone who can provide that bit of flair. Again, I think Marcus Harness, he's a good creator. Sonia Luca, he's a good creator, but I would put Versant Selena in a different bracket. And I come back to that. I still think that you either need to get him back or sign someone who can do a similar job, because it's going to be such an important position, in my opinion, for Town if you want to push that top two this season.
Absolutely. And George says, get Gab on more often. He's different gravy. Gab is always welcome at TT Towers. We love talking to him. Last time I saw you was the PFA Award. I
know, yeah. It's funny, actually. I'm not actually that mad on gravy, so maybe I'll have to come up with another one. He's macaroni cheese, Gab.
Well, I'm going to Forest Green second game. It's our first away game, and they do chips and gravy, but it's not really that nice, so I've been told, Gab. So maybe I'll stay clear of that.
No. Do you know who won that, Gab?
What's that?
The PFA Award that we were there to discuss. Do you know who won that? Because I'd never heard anything.
I'd imagine Ross Stewart, because he was fantastic, wasn't he?
No, I'd imagine Wes Burns, because he was much better than Ross Stewart. That's what I had to say anyway. I didn't believe what I was saying. Gab, enjoy your Saturday. Don't melt too much in the heat. And we'll talk through the season, hopefully.
Yeah, cheers, Martin. All the best, thanks.
Good man. Richard, welcome in. How are you? Oh, Richard, you're on mute, my friend. Take yourself off mute if you can do so. Yes, there you go.
Can you hear me?
We can. Perfect. Love the shirt. Love the signage. I've got that actually as a pro giveaway next year. Anyway, Marcus Harness, what are you thinking, big man?
I'm thinking it's great. We've got loads of versatility up top. We've got Selena. I don't actually want us to break the bank and get wages wise for. Gab just said about how he's consistent. What has he done for us last season? 5 goals, maybe 4 assists, something like that.
6 goals, 6 assists.
Yeah, that's not enough for 20 grand a week or whatever we were paying him. But nowhere near enough. Chaplin gives more.
On the flip side, Rich, Martin said this before with Selena. I think a lot of it with him sometimes is he's on a different. He thinks at 2-3 seconds ahead of everybody else. I went to Doncaster away last season, laid 2 absolute sitters on a plate for Macaulay Bonnie's missed them. So that's not his fault. Sometimes he can create. Someone's got to put the ball in the net.
I think that's true, but you also have the element with Selena that he should have got sent off against Rotherham, and we were in the game at that point, and then we got beat, because that's a sending off every day of the week.
Not for me.
You don't think it's a sending off?
No, he just pushed him. Oh, ref, it would have been a yellow for me.
Either way, I do see what Richard's saying here in the sense of, we finished 11th. It on the outside could be foolish to run back what you've already had because you finished 11th, but obviously wasn't good enough by at least 10 places.
We can't pin it all on. Everyone pins it on Selena that we finished 11th.
Absolutely not.
Like I said the other night, Colin, he's on holiday. Hope you're having a great time down there. Massive fan of Sonny Aluko. He played in the 10 as well, Rich. He got 3 goals. He got no assists. So we can't just keep saying it's Versant Selena who underperformed, because
I'm not saying it is.
As a collective, we underperformed.
Yeah,
we had some good individuals last season, but this season is what I want to see, Martin, is we've got to play as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not
So
saying it is. I'm not saying it is all Selena. Sorry, Gov. I'm
No,
not
you're
saying
fine.
it is all Selena. It is all Selena, but I think we've got a different manager now. People keep going on about, is it 2 up front? Is it 3 up front? Is it 1 up front? Makes no difference. You look at how they interchange. They go from a 3 at the back to a 4 at the back. They go from 4 in midfield to 5 in midfield. Left, right, and centre all over the pitch. People are changing positions. We've got Kyle Edwards. We've got KVY. We've got Burns. We've got
Where
Selena.
does he fit in, Rich?
We get
Just
Selena.
on
We've got
Kyle
Chapman. We've
Edwards.
got Harness. We've got the Dapu. We've got some quality players for League One.
Where does Edwards fit in for you? Because I know Martin, he said
Loan
the
out.
other week you'd loan him out, wouldn't you? Where
I
does
would
he
now.
fit in all this?
Who was that? Were you
Kyle
going out?
Edwards.
Sorry.
Kyle Edwards, where do you think he fits in?
I play him at left wing back. When he started the season last season, no one could get near him. And I know that I'm not a massive fan of pre-assists, but how many fouls and corners?
He's banned it. He's banned it. You can't be using that.
Can't be bringing that up here,
Hang
Sam.
on, 10,
But
22.
he gets fouled a lot because players can't stop him. And Wes Burns gets fouled a lot because players can't stop him. If we've got someone who can put the ball actually where they should put it from a corner or a set piece, like Evans can, and like I suspect Harness may well have the skill to do, then we're onto a winner. And we just need our centre backs to chip in some goals as well.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Gav. I've got a question.
Go on.
So we've got 24 now in the squad, right? Is it 22 you can name?
It is. Yes. We need to trim that fat.
Yeah, well, I've included Tommy Hughes because he's obviously played a few pre-season games. You could take him out, that'd be 23. You got Humphreys, you got Elmis, you got Harper, you've got Penny. They're the probably 4 that I would think now are under threat.
But keep the 3.
Come on.
I think Harper's days are probably numbered, unfortunately, Gov.
Somebody called an ambulance. Shut me.
I think
that's true. What Lee says, the youngsters don't count, Rich. The youngsters don't count. So yeah.
Overage wise, I don't know who's overage. I personally would let Elmis go out on loan or get rid. I don't see it in him.
Yeah, there was somebody who tweeted last night, this better not be Elmis to Rochdale for undisclosed fee at 11 p.m. at night, which made me kind of giggle. Richard, before I let you go and bring James in, who is absolutely beautifully sat in the sun, he's got his head screwed on as James, not like me roasting here. Does this, I asked Gab this same question, does this move the needle for you in terms of Ipswich? Does this now, if you were in any doubts about us being undercooked, as there was discussions midweek, do you think this firmly puts us into that top 6 bracket, all things considered?
I'm positive in nature anyway, but I genuinely thought that last season, if we'd have started the way we went after that to first 10 games, if we'd have had even 2 points a game in that period, we'd have got playoffs with the highest ever playoff total to get points wise. I think we're second this season. I think Sheffield Wednesday are the only team that will be above us.
Well, MK Dons, just quickly before Rich goes, they've made a lot of signings. They've signed 11 now. They've got, I see Bradley Johnson, they signed yesterday. They signed Will Griggs back. I think they'll still be in the mix, Rich.
I don't know. There was a lot of clubs above us last season that came to us and didn't try and win the game. And I think this season will be different at beating teams like that. And I think that's going to set us aside.
They hammered they hammered Norwich yesterday.
And Bolton won't happen like it did last season. And actually, to give Cook his due, he said after the Bolton defeat, with Morsey in the side, you don't get turned over like that. And we didn't get turned over like that the rest of the season.
And then we went to Akron and lost.
We did.
Yeah, but we didn't get turned over. The Bolton game was embarrassing, wasn't it?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we owe them one come 30th of July. Richard, enjoy your Saturday. Don't melt too much, my man.
This room's an oven. I'll be melting.
and I like that you're positive. Don't worry, we'll try and beat that out of you through the course of the season. Appreciate it, buddy. Look after yourself. We've got James sat in the sun. Look at that. Hello, James. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. You?
I'm jealous because you firmly got your head on your shoulders there. Sat in
You're
the
jealous
sun.
because he's got a better beard than you.
It's taken a long time to grow. Yeah, I finally got the courage to come on the show. Been watching for a couple of years, so yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet for my first one.
Good man. I often are.
Yeah.
This is James.
Yeah. I don't know, it's not excited me, but the thought of just, in my mind, to have a replacement for Piggott, that cheers me up. I really didn't rate Piggott. Should never have come to our club. It sounds a bit harsh, but that's just my opinion. Selena, I would love Selena back, but Chaplin is one of my favourite players, so I'm on the fence on that one. Do I think we'll get Selena? No, but I would love to have him at the club. But yeah, that's just for me. Just to swap him, get rid of Piggott and bring in. Sorry, I forgot his name. What's his name?
Marcus, that's great stuff. Marcus Harness. But
yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I'm never coming back on the show now.
oh no, you fit right in. You fit right in with the knowledge level. That's absolutely fine. I mean,
Gov's great at forgetting names. Don't worry, mate.
I was like, please don't forget his name. Please don't forget his name, and I forgot his name.
Look, James. I mean, Burst Selena midweek lost his pen according to Rich. So I mean, you know, we're all wrong at some points of our life, aren't we, Richard?
7.7% success rate. So Hox keeps telling me
that high. I don't believe it for a second.
Mate.
That's fiddling. James.
But then what do I know? I did put £5 on Piggott to be our top goal scorer. So
well, I said he'd get 24, James, last season. He got 3. There you go.
Yeah, I haven't gone to as many games as I wanted to in the last couple of years. Could have like just getting married, finances, buying a house. But yeah, I'm going to start getting back to it. My first game will be Culture, so I don't know if you guys will be at the game.
Yeah, I'll be there.
He certainly will be. I can't speak for myself at this point in time. But James, are you subscribed to the channel?
Yes.
Good man, because it's a good
segue
today. Good man, because if we reach 4,000 subscribers, we're giving away some tickets to games throughout the year. So you know, you're about
what is the current numbers?
I'll have a look in a second. But because if you're like James,
since we've had Lewis was on Wednesday, was it? Lewis was on.
He was, yeah, he was box office.
Since Wednesday, we've had literally over 50 subscribers.
We have, yes, yeah, we have. But if you're like James, not being able to get to as many games you wanted to, for whatever reason, hit subscribe, and you never know, you could be having some tickets coming your way. But James,
and shirts.
But,
yep.
Yeah, but the tickets.
I'm not putting up a Luco. Yeah, I'm just going to head off.
Good man, James. Enjoy the sun. Make sure you get some sun cream in that barnet, though, right? Don't get burnt.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me, guys.
Good man, good man. Leando, you come on. Look at that wall. Love a good wall.
Where are you sitting, Lee? You're not in the living room. You're not on the floor today.
No, I'm in my I'm in the room that I work from home in. So I've got my works laptop.
Isn't it nice, Lee? This morning we've had 2 people who've not been on before.
I was going to say it's going to be my first comment. It's great. It saves people having to listen to me all the time.
Absolutely, we always
it's great.
Listen to me. Still have to listen to me, Lee. I'm afraid.
Well, that's unfortunate. That is, but I mean, both of them gave as good as they got against you. So I mean, that's great. That's what we want.
Absolutely.
That's what we want.
Lee, we start the week talking about Burst St. Selena, dotting I's, crossing T's. We end the week with Marcus Harness signing, not Burst. So, talk to me. What is he going to bring to the party? Because he's predominantly a right winger. Is this a formation change? Is this an insurance for Wes Burns? Is this a left winger? Is this Edwards out on loan? So many question marks. You're the man to give me the answers, I hope.
Well, I can give you an opinion. I'm not sure it's the answer, but it was out of the blue, which was great. I mean, it was good business. I mean, I think just going back to what you said, the first thing about sorry, it's my dog just letting himself in the room.
Shocking. Did you see that comment there? Did you see that comment there from Carl Brooks, Lee? So with 2 new people on the show, does that mean we can now get rid of the fisherman?
Oh no, he's coming up as well. I can see him in the VIP area.
Yeah, he's coming in. He's bringing him on after.
He's coming.
The first thing on that, when you said about Selena, is what was happening, and then what people were posting on Twitter and that. I just felt a sense that maybe the things about, maybe about Ashton, things were just starting to creak. You could just sense people not happy with the way the club was going. And then all of a sudden, 11 o'clock last night, that just completely switches around, because we've gone left field in terms of, not left field with the signing, but we've been, it's happened out of the blue. The
you
club
were ready for a live show at 11 o'clock last night, weren't you, Lee?
I was ready. I was clicking on the button, and there was nothing there. So I was ready for a live show. I think the Gov said. I think the words were, whenever they land, whatever time of day, we'll be there. And I was there with a few
Lee,
others.
Lee, you should have WhatsApped me, because I'd WhatsApped the contributors in mass and not a single soul was awake. Not a single
you
one
said-
of them.
I was awake.
Well, you were driving. I
I
don't
was
like
in
that.
Newmarket, waiting for my.
You should have just messaged me, mate. I'd have come on and bought a few
I was
people.
ready. 11 o'clock in
I
the
was there.
boxes.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah, so I think that's a good thing for the club. And, you know, I mean, I've sat here and said before that, you know, we need players in every position. And I think Matt's always said, well, where are we going to play everybody? But I think the squad is now getting to the point where we're full, aren't we? If it's people coming in now, maybe apart from the striker, if we bring another striker in,
More got to go out.
yeah, some have got to go out, but who would that be? And you know, looking at all the forwards we've got, if Selena was still to come in, because the deal apparently isn't dead, and that could still happen, then you've got other people. Who is it? Who would you say? I mean, Luca's not going to go anywhere because we've got that deal for him. Edwards is the one. Do you think? Well, what's gonna happen?
Did you agree with Gabley when he said that we need that player who can do that little bit of magic?
I think we could do with Selena. I don't think so. I don't know. I think when you look at it, if you look at ball, if you say Ball and Morsey are going to play together, they're not natural goal scorers, are they? So you're relying on the five. You're relying on the 5 or 4 in front of them, and that's where that's where you look. So I can see that, but when the number 10s, I think Chaplin can pick a pass. I don't totally agree with that. Obviously, if Selena signs, then he would play, and I think you were right, Rich, when you look at some of the chances. When you look at Town's highlights of the season.
What was the game, Lee? Was it the Plymouth game where when we won 1-0 near the end of the season, he'd done that lovely turn about on the left-hand side of the halfway line, played that ball with the outside of his foot through that gap, and I think it was Wes Burns came in and he popped it wide.
Yeah,
yeah.
So I think there's that. But I mean, regarding Harness, I mean, I think he can play anywhere along the front line. But listening to his interview this morning, I think he's more suited. He thinks he's more suited to playing that narrow number 10, sort of not right on the wide. I think he said that he didn't contribute so much when he was put out wide. So maybe he's come in to play that sort of Selena role, Chaplin role that we had last season, where we had those sort of two almost inside left and inside rights to allow the fullbacks to go past. So I think he'll be suited to one of those. But I think that's where Edwards will play as well. So I just think that we're close to bursting, and we don't want someone like John Jules to end up like Lou Barry, that sort of thing. We don't want players that are sitting on the fringe. So I think we're getting quite full in that department. I can't see many more coming in.
Isaac Chenry, Lee, can't we still play Harness in front of Burns, 3-4-3?
Play Harness. Well, he can play. Yes. Well, if Burns is what we'd say the wing back, so he'd play in one of those inverted positions, wouldn't he? Where Chaplin and Selena have played most of the season. So that's where he would play. He would play in those inside channels.
Yeah,
whether he pulls out wide.
I've got 3-4-3 down with you got Harness, Ladapo. I know Cole Brooks. I was talking to Cole last night, Martin and Lee. He thinks Jackson's going to be the main striker this season.
Caden Jackson.
I think he could have a really good season, Lee. I think they said you were obviously there the other night when he came on. He looked electric. He looks fit. You know, I think he's got something to prove as well, Caden Jackson, because he's been out in the wilderness. He's nearly been out the door. He's rejuvenated now. I think he could have a good season. I think he might be the dark horse, up front there. We're talking about obviously the Dapo. You're talking about Chaplin. Caden Jackson, he can score goals. He can score goals in this league, given the service.
Yeah. I think one thing that is over the last few years that strikers have sort of taught me, all the way I see it is that any given striker in any given team can score 25 goals a season. Look at Will Keane. Will Keane is an example, and Piggott is an example of not working out at a particular club.
Yeah.
Now Jackson seems to have a new lease of life under McKenna. McKenna's put his arm around him. He's made him feel $1 million. He could quite easily score.
I've
20
got the
odd goals.
team. I've got the team for the Palace game, Gov. 11 o'clock.
Okay. What? Where's that from?
The official Ipswich Town website.
Okay, good, fine. Far away.
I had it before that because I messaged
I know,
it.
that's why I'm asking. I do.
So, Alecki, Donatian, Fridge and Darber, Penny, Burns, Ball, Harper, Humphreys, Aluko, Jackson. Then we've got Hayes, Alexander, Chiwera, and Buabu.
So more importantly, for the fans that actually can attend a game today, which is AFC Wimbledon, before we come back to Harness and Lee, what players do we expect to be at AFC Wimbledon now then, Rich? That if that's
so you've got no Walton. I'm trying to work out here. Walton, who's your centre back? Spurges, Greg Lee. You've got no
Wolfenden?
Sam Morsey, no Lee Evans.
Wolfenden? Did you say
Ladapo, Chaplin.
So it's still a fairly decent,
Yeah,
lineup.
I think he was going to sort of try and split them up, but you'd expect, Martin, that they're going to get most of the 90 minutes today because it's like 2 weeks today we're starting.
It is cheeky,
I like what Lee said the other night, and not only you, Lee, a lot of people, how fit we looked.
Yeah, we are looking fitter. Lee, I've got a question from Alex, who just WhatsApped me. Does this make us more attractive to Hurst, do you think, the signing of Marcus Harness?
Can't hurt, can it? I mean, I was thinking about this, and I tell you what, and listening to the players that sign and listening to Harness's interview, one of the biggest things that attracts players to this club now is the fan base, because we've now gone up to 20-odd thousand every week at home in the last season, and when you sit down to a player, whoever that may be, and you're taking them from a club that gets 11,000, you imagine how much harder that sell would be if you're telling them that they're going to go to Portman Road on a Saturday and play in front of a less than half full stadium of 11, 12,000. You think now you can sit there and go, look, we've got 25,000 every week. And you think that that's one of the selling points. So I think, the fan base can pat themselves on the back for the way that we've all grown back into the club and how the fan base has grown. And that's a big sell, I think. So that's the biggest factor for me.
That does bring with it pressure, though, Lee. Like I've said before, that does bring with it the pressure of performing, in front of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But you want to, don't you? We all want to see Portman Road full every week when we go down there. And it can only inspire. Surely, if you're a player going on that pitch, it should inspire you, shouldn't it, to perform?
Yeah, and it's got to lift you. It's got to, got to keep you honest as well. Because if you think, I've got to go out there on a Tuesday night and there's 11,000, and when the fans walk out and you hear a ripple around the stadium, you think, God, what am I doing here? But when you hear that roar and you've got a full stadium or fully stadium,
he's bang on there, Martin, because we were all there when the McCarthy era was coming to an end. It's like a ghost town down there. It was really sad as well, Lee, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, it was.
I mean, going into the north stand on Tuesday night, all the atmosphere in that. I mean, it was like a bloody league game. It was a friendly.
Yeah.
All the kids all jumping around and beer going everywhere and that, and the atmosphere was building, and it was a pre-season friendly. So
he was walking through everyone's legs, Martin.
Yeah, he was. Lee, we're gonna bring the fisherman on in a second, so you go and enjoy that sun. Do not melt too much, and look after yourself.
Cheers, guys. See you all later.
Good man. Right, a few comments first. We've got Craig at Portsmouth. We've weakened a direct rival with the Harness signing. It's like if Oxford got Burns off us. It's a great point from Craig. Stephen Parry, another YouTube member. In Harness and Chappers, that's 20 goals on average. Mr. Womble, Mr. Cruncher must be cooking himself in that top. It's a very nice top, though. He must be, I know. Oh, he's turned the lights off. Have you noticed? Even that way, you can't afford the bill.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Electric prices. You fucking moan about them. Enough.
I know I do.
There's not a lot, actually, everybody, that Martin doesn't moan about.
That is true. Scoring was, just life in general pisses me off. Scoring was an issue for us last season. We had more creativity and better finishing. Selena and another striker, please. Isaac Chenery. Ball will partner Morsey away and in big games. Evans will start the games we control, possession at home against the lower league teams. And
how many goals did Connor Chaplin Martin get last season?
Not enough, but he did get a good return.
So if you look at the minute, you've got Ladapo got 15, Chaplin got 11, Harness got 11, Wes Burns got 13. this is where I think, yeah, we all probably do want that 20-goal a season striker, but I think the goals are going to be shared around.
Yeah.
Caden Jackson, I know his biggest fan's coming on in a minute. I think he'll get a few this season.
I tell you what, I've said that all through the summer. You know, I want the goals spread around. If you're a third striker, I just need this many. I need that many for my first. You know, I'm all about that. I'm all for that. You know,
Vero. Thank you very much.
I must say, this isn't me, by the way. I am in agreement with the account called "Shut Up About Selena." If I ever hit the word
"Shut Up About Selena," have you hit the subscribe button?
Yeah, we need to. But if I ever heard the word Selena again, I think I might scream. It's just all I've heard this bit in my WhatsApp is Selena. So for fuck's sake, leave me alone about Selena. Carl Brooks, you've only got to think about how good we look with Jackson on the side, albeit 5 or 6 games, but he looked a different player. Paul Hedger, I think Hurst could end up at Pompey now, as they have some cash. How much do you expect the deal to be today or last night?
For Harness, I said to you in the WhatsApp group, he had a year left on his contract. He didn't want to sign a contract, Martin. That's why they've had to let him go. I think Swansea and I think it was Hull City were after him in the Championship. So it's a coup that we've got him. I reckon 400 or 500 grand. I'd have thought. I don't think much more. Yeah. George Hurst, he's going to be 1.5 million, and we know how hard Pompey got hit with COVID, Martin. I think we've spoken about it on here. So I would be very surprised if George Hurst goes to Portsmouth for that kind of money. But I know Blackburn are in for him as well. So look,
I'd be more inclined to think that the Pigger actually takes them out of the Hurst running.
Getting back to Joe Pigger, I really hope that he does well there. It was just one of them where it didn't work out at town. We know, obviously, the story with his father passing. Look, he came here, he got 20-odd goals at AFC. I've met him a few times. Colin's met him. Real nice guy, Martin. But at the end of the day, it didn't work out for him at town. Hopefully he'll go down there, he can rejuvenate his career. I totally agree with what Gab said about style of play. I don't think he was a McKenna player, was he really? You know, I don't think he's mobile enough. I don't think he's mobile enough for McKenna's team.
What is a McKenna team? Yeah, I think Cook. Sorry,
I don't think he's mobile enough for the type of player that.
No, technically not good enough either. I don't think. £20 for Pharaoh
scores a lot of goals and takes some points off some of our rivals.
Absolutely. Big up, Duncan. Thank you so much for your kind donation. We appreciate it. Thank you. A few more comments. 750 says Matt. 5 to 600,000. So Shut Up Selena has subscribed. Good stuff. Over 200 watching live on a Saturday morning. I'll do this more often. If you're
better than going shopping with the missus.
It certainly is, although I am sweating the same way my card gets used. But if you haven't subscribed, then do so. I know about 40% of our audience, our viewing audience, haven't subscribed yet. So why not turn that into possible tickets? Facebook user, when you look at last season, did Selena really perform many games? Selena again. Andy Barrel, we will score so many goals on the break this season. And Leando, Pompey have as much chance of getting hers as we did Twine. There you go. Leando coming and laying the wood down on it. Let's have a quick word from our partners. And the fisherman is here to try and see if he can snag himself a big one. Ipswich Buses, your local bus company. Don't get stuck in traffic. Ditch the car. Go green. Go contactless. Go Ipswich Buses. Fares available from £2.20 return, a fantastic price and a fantastic service. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town.
I do think the town game is on the Crystal Palace website if anyone wants to watch it.
I've seen that rumour, but I don't actually know if it is. It's probably behind closed doors.
I haven't looked, but
I think
that is what people were saying.
We'll see. Right, coming live now. Carl Brooks, bring on the fisherman. We need some words of wisdom. Well, you asked. We delivered. Here he is, the fisherman.
Just 1 second. I just got to look for something. No, I can't give any fucks to Carl. So sorry, Carl. Love you, mate.
That's a good comeback. I like that, Mike. You're on form this morning, mate.
You're getting better. You're getting
I'm wide
better.
awake this morning, boys. I'm wide awake. Look, going on that. Look, Harness, great signing. Yeah, I think it's a good signing. I've been looking at the squad this morning when I had chance, just looking at the squad and thinking who I'd get rid of, who I'd keep and stuff. Do you know what? I think maybe, I've given Jackson a bit of stick and I've given him some pelters. I ain't going to lie, because he hasn't been great for us. He hasn't scored enough goals for us. He's been a bit of a letdown, but feedback I've been getting, he looks sharp. He looks fit, as does the whole squad. I'm confident going into the game against Bolton. I do think we need look. All the training in the world is great, but if we can't fucking put across a ball, right? I mean, that is, again. I was told the other night against Wet Spam, we're just lacking people that can cross a ball. It's just, we do need someone that can do that. I still think we need a creative midfielder, someone that can, well, maybe not creative, someone that can actually take a set piece. Lee Evans came in for that role, but he's not really pulled up trees, is he? I think this season Jackson could come good.
No, it's too early for that sort of question. It's too early for that. Don't ask him that. Don't ask him that. It's far too early. It's 10:47. I have not yet had my breakfast.
I didn't see what was written. What did he say?
He said you're very chirpy. Did you get your leg over last night, Lee Anderson?
Actually, no. Not that it matters on anybody's business, but no.
I really wanted a bowl of Cheerios. I now don't. Marcus Harness. I don't. Good to see you back on Twitter, though, Fisherman. Good to see you back. Good to see you back amongst.
He was only away 1 week, fellas. He was only away 1 week.
He picked those toys up and came back.
Sometimes you need a little bit of a break from the idiots, don't you? So
you do.
But yeah, no, I think. Look, I said at the beginning, I said at the end of the season, if we can bring 7 or 8 players in for this start of this season, I think we are good enough for top 2. I still think we're.
Sorry, Mike.
Sorry.
Who's your front 3 to start the season?
See, I wouldn't play front 3. I just don't think there's enough goals. I don't think you get enough goals playing a 3 in this league.
What would you play then?
I'd play 2 up front.
Oh, you're so.
I would. You know what? I would play Jackson and the Dapo up front.
Hang on.
I think lots of pace. I'm not saying Jackson will score the 20 goals that some people seem to think he would, but I think he'd get 10, maybe 12 from that role. And if Ladapo could score a few, and then look, the thing is, we have to consider this season as well. We're
playing 3-5-2 in your mind, 3-5-2 is your formation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd play 3-5-2. I'd play Morsey in a holding, and just push 2 midfield, two more attacking midfielders that more.
But you haven't got enough. Yeah. You've got Dominic Bull, who is going to be a sitter.
Yeah,
so Who are you playing with them? If you're playing 3-5-2, obviously you got your 2 wing backs. If you're playing Bull, Morsey, who's your creative player who plays in front of them?
Well, I was looking at Harness. He's saying that he wants to play in that more advanced, more central. Maybe he's the type of player that you could bring in. Look, I said it last season. If Selena had played in that role behind the front 2, I think there would have been more. I think we'd have got more from Selena. I don't think he plays great out wide left. And I know
if you play Harness in the 10 in your team, then or just who's your 2 strikers, Ladapo and Jackson?
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Chaplin? Where's Connor Chaplin? Because for me, he's the first name on the team sheet.
Yeah, but again, you could play Connor. Yeah, but you could play Connor. But for me, Connor Chaplin could play in the same role behind the front 2 as well.
Yeah,
he could play up. He could play up alongside Ladapo or alongside Chaplin. The thing is, we've got strength and depth, which is something we didn't really have last season. We had a bit of a dolly mixture side last season. This season, what we've had is we've already had the foundation built with our defence and maybe some of our midfielders, and we just needed to tweak and add and strengthen in key areas.
Good point.
We have 5 subs this year as well. So, you say, why is Chappers a dead cert? Why is Harness a dead cert? You don't know what McKenna's going to do. We never, all I want is if plan A is not working, we need a plan B, because we had Cook and we had plan A and if plan A didn't work, we had plan A with different players. And there was a little bit of times last year where McKenna did the same thing. And I think, we can't be doing that. League One is so much, there's so much variety of formations and styles in this league. To get out of it, you have to adapt.
Yeah.
You know?
Norman Greenwald, Harness in the 10 position will weaken us. His delivery is his weakness. Matt Stannard, only in line likes. Come on, guys. Hit the like button. There is nearly 200 people watching this live. Hit that like button, whatever platform you're watching. Lee Anderson, Fisherman, best squad in League One again.
Oh, behave, Lee. Oh, God alive.
Finished 11th, Lee.
That's painful to listen. That's painful, isn't it? That is so painful. Best squad in League One last season. Best squad in League One the season before. Yeah.
Going back to Jackson, about you were saying about Jackson, Mike. You know, it's a clean slate for him under Kieran McKenna. I know what went before, and we've spoke about this on many occasions. His numbers are not great. We all know that.
No.
But I think
can't fault his work ethic, though, can you?
No, but I think under McKenna, like I said before, I think he could flourish this season. I hope he does. Look, we all want him to flourish. We all want whoever pulls on that blue shirt to do well.
Yeah, we do. You're right. We do.
Look, I know that Piggott's gone now, and I think that's probably the best thing for him. I feel sorry for him to a point, but he did have chances where he could come in and work hard. And every time he came in, I just didn't see anything from him. And I'm gutted because we both wanted him, didn't we, Rich, at the start of last season?
It's just football, isn't it? That's football. It doesn't always work out.
Right. I want to try and finish up today's show before the 11 a.m. game gets going. So, Mike, before I let you go, where are we still weak for you? Where do we still need to go and pick up the next top player?
We need someone, a set piece type guy, someone that can take a decent corner, decent free kick, bit more creativity, and possibly another, maybe another left wing back to replace Penny. I'm not keen on Penny.
That's the question I'd ask Mike. I'd ask you about players coming in. You said, Martin, who would you be moving on, Mike?
Oh, Harper, Penny,
Elmis.
Elmis all day long. Who else? I can't think. I think Ndaba will probably go back out on loan.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he will. I think Burgess played really well. According to Burgess played really well the other day. I think Burgess fits that left role better than Edmondson, and I think Edmondson and Wolfie are fighting for the same position.
Yeah, well, if you're saying that, you know where I'll play Edmondson and Mike's going to lose his marbles. I'll play him instead of Donatian.
You can't do that. Why would that?
I'm just saying what I would do. If you said Burgess on the
line, you're not a stupid man when it comes to tactics, but that is a really silly comment to make when you consider what he did last season for us.
Yeah, but we want to improve, and we finished 11th. That's
no.
You
can't. No, you were sitting there saying you can't blame.
He had a good season. Listen, he had a good season, but I'm just saying
he had a fantastic season, mate. He didn't have a good season. He was 7, 8 out of 10 nearly every game.
But what did you say he was worth the other night when there was in the show about how much they were worth, these players? Did you say he was 3 million?
Who?
Genoa Donatian.
No.
How much would you say?
No.
No, that was Louis, wasn't it? How much would you say JD's worth?
Burns. JD right now, based on last season, probably $1 million. I'd give $1 million. I mean, I reckon, based on his last season, he's worth $1 million.
We paid $1 million for him about 3 years ago.
750 we paid.
Yeah, but that was for the championship, wasn't it? And and he's got older, he's wiser. I thought he had, like I said, he was my player of the season last year. He was probably one of the most consistent players last year. And that's
he's in my team. I'm playing a bit of devil's advocate here, Mike. But
he won't end the season in the team.
How do you know that? You can't say that. You thought Harper was going to be player of the season.
He still will be. Just wait and see. All right. Just wait and see.
Which season? Is that the clause?
He's the pre-season player of the year. All right. We give awards for pre-season. Go away, Mike. Go away. Leave me alone.
The whole game, everybody. He's going to be there on a Saturday, Martin, at 3 p.m.
Who is?
Newsflash.
Yeah, hell, I'm going to the first game of the season. I didn't clock. I've got a wedding. I've got a wedding that evening to go to. Yeah, a friend of mine's getting married.
Will you be doing some dad dancing?
I've got a nice wedding, and I've taken the night off, and I'm thinking, why not go into the game? I can get to the game
On the dance floor.
Do a bit of dad dancing, Mike.
Dad
Go on.
dancing.
Oh, you can't beat a bit of dad bod dancing, mate. I've got some.
Right.
Absolutely.
Anybody going to that wedding? Can you please film the fisherman and send it
Absolutely.
to him?
Right, Mike, look
I'll
after
have it.
yourself.
All right, guys. Take
Go
care.
and practice your moves. Matt Stanner, I think 5 stars will make a difference for us, especially if we're playing.
Yeah,
tiring
I agree
teams.
with that, Martin. When you look at the attacking threat that we've got.
Yeah. Oh, well, it should do. Ashley Bell, I say it every year. There's so many games going on during the year. We're going to pick up injuries, suspensions, need to rest. Carl Brooks, I do think against teams like your Fleetwoods, Morecambs, etc., that have 10 men behind the ball, the ones that cause the most problems, a plan B against those teams is needed. Craig, have we got too many average players now? Yes, we have. If you've loaded it, Sell, Miz and Penny, says Craig at Portsmouth. Mike D, pray for me. Got my son's birthday party today. Loads of kids at Flip at out
Careful.
trampolining.
Careful, because Matt Phillips had a birthday party other week, didn't he? And it ended with blood on the dance floor.
It did. Matt Stannard. Yeah, I get why you'd say that, Crunch. We'd lose Witt. This fridge would not overlap Burns like JD.
Well, JD, he got 4 assists, but come on. It's hardly prime Cafu at right back, is it?
He towed off once McKenna came in, I think. Like he was
Look, he's
really
had a good season, and he starts the season for me, Martin. But who knows what will happen throughout the season?
Colin Plum. Good. God knows what people have against Burgess. Very good player indeed. There we
When
go.
he came back into the team, he was better. Before Christmas, not very good.
We are doing a Fantasy Premier League. We did one last year. We'll do one this year. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for information on that.
The prediction league coming back?
That might be changing a little bit.
Oh,
I got an app which Nunny recommended to me. Where
on that phone with a cracked screen, you won't be able to see it.
No, that one ended. That one's died. It died.
Oh.
It died its death. But basically, I've turned for nothing into 160 quid.
Hey?
Yeah, I know.
You sold your phone.
No. There's an app which I will tell you more information on tomorrow.
Is it like that app that Matt Phillips said, where he can change £5 into £30?
No, that's not, because this is actually real life. This is actually real. I can see this. But more information on that tomorrow. It's a company that Nunny works with. It's legit. It's real. I'll tell you more on that tomorrow. But first up, Mr. Footy, welcome in. Got a couple of minutes left.
Wow.
Look at that, look.
Look at this. Loving that.
How are you, Mr. Footy? Oh, you're on mute, Mr. Footy. You've waited all the time to come in and you're on mute. Unmute yourself. There he is. There he is. Thomas Holy's biggest fan.
Yeah.
It's Will. How are you doing, Will?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Looking forward to the season.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be a good season.
I'm going to ask you about Burst St. Selena. Would you sign him?
But I think now we've signed Harness, I don't think we will.
Okay. Because you think Harness is an equally as good or better player, or do you think what makes you think that?
I would say he's equally as good, but now Ipswich have bought him, I don't reckon we'd go for Selena anymore.
Not even a cheeky loan deal?
No.
Okay. So where are we weak for you, Will? Where do you want to go and see Ashton and McKenna go and target the next area?
Well, I was hoping a few weeks ago we'd signed Scott Twine, but obviously he's gone to Burnley now. So I'm not really sure. Luke Hurst, maybe? Whatever his name was.
George Hurst, yeah. George Hurst.
Yeah.
A bit of an unknown commodity, really, Crunchy. Oh, Mr. Hurst, because he's only played a couple of sort of senior years.
Yeah, he had a good season, did he, Pompey? What did he get? 13? Was it 13 goals last season?
I think it was, yeah. Yeah.
He didn't have a great start. I think he'd been at Rotherham as well on loan. But if you got a championship club chasing him, they reckon Blackburn are after him, Martin. We've seen this before, like Will says with Twine. You know, a lot of these players are going to want to go and play at that higher level. So I hope that they've got a backup. If they are going for Hurst, you know, I don't know now. You've got a lot of, like I said, a lot of attacking players here, but it's like having, like I said before, them different clubs in the bag. If you're a golfer, and we've got a lot of options now, Martin, in these front areas. So, and
we really have
a little bit. It's becoming a little bit crowded when you look at it. They all can't play.
No, they can't. I'm talking about crowded, Will. The back line, as we were saying just before you came in, is a bit crowded. Stephen Davis is up in arms. You can't drop the Don from last season. What do you do? Would you play Edmondson at the right side, drop the Don? Would you keep the Don? Where are you on that conversation?
Well, I would say probably keep Danassian where he is because he's had a decent season. He's probably been, I would say, our best right back for a while.
Okay.
He hasn't really played well until last season, actually. Like, it was a bit like a Pigott for me, but
I think that's very fair. I think because last summer, him and Jackson were very much outside looking in for a lot of fans, including Wolfenden, it would say. So I think you're spot on there. Will, are you going to be at the Bolton game?
Yeah, definitely.
Good man. We'll make sure you're there. We'll see you at the Sir Ralph statue. And thank you for coming on. Did you wear that jumper because Cruncher was wearing it, or were you wearing it before you knew the show was on?
Well, actually, when I came on the live, I saw Crunchy was wearing it, and then I just had a look around, and there it was.
Go on, Will. Go on, Will. Good lad.
He's dressed as his idol. Look.
Love
Will,
it.
look at that. Look after yourselves. We'll see you at the Bolton game.
Yeah, mate.
Cruncher, the influencer.
Look at that. It's great. He's good, Will. He's very good.
Knows his onions.
Very good.
Now eating his lunch, bless him. Fairty Midland, only way Fridge on right is move the Don and Burns up. Field, yeah. Autocorrect. It does me as well. Don't worry about it. Every day it does me wrong. Right, we're back tomorrow, 1:30, Talking Town live. Myself, Rich, and possibly if he can get himself off his sick bed.
Got to have a fitness test.
Matt
Phillips.
Phillips.
Might be able to do in a 45, maybe. What do you reckon?
Wait and see. Will there be any more news to talk about? We do not know.
3 games today. The women are playing as well. So
yep, 3 games.
Current subscriber rate numbers, I think, Martin, is 3858, is it?
Correct, yep, 3858.
We are 142 away. We've got 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And we've gained about over 60 in about the last 3-4 days. So if you're not subscribed, please do. Tell all your friends about us. Season tickets, shirts, all up for grabs. No one does it like Talking Town, Martin.
Nobody does, and you'll see that again tomorrow, 1:30. I'll ask the lads what their front 3 is, if it's the front 3 they're going to play, and anything else that comes up between now and tomorrow. But
yes,
thank you for joining us.
Crunching Tackle is coming with a absolute. Martin sent it to me. I'd already seen it. An absolute beauty of a penalty. You thought last week was a bit dodgy with match fixing. Wait till you see this, because the holding of the head.
Oh, I know the reaction. It's just a classic Jonathan Douglas shot.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from